So in this class we are going to assert another important value in our SOAP XML, which is going to be whether the response which we have got is a SOAP XML or not. So as you remember that how we can find out that this is a SOAP XML, that there are few criterias which are there in the SOAP XML. There is a template which every SOAP message follows. Like there has to be a envelope defined, there has to be a header, there might or might not be a header, but there will always be mentioned, it will always be mentioned in your XML for the request XML, and there is a body and there is a fault tag also. So these are some of the tags which are validated by a person whenever they are testing SOAP XML, that they check that whether in the response we are getting this particular kind of XML or not, which validates that this is a SOAP XML. So we can do the same assertion using our script assertion using our Groovy language. That is the power of the Groovy, that it gives us to use at different places to validate different kind of things in our XML. So I'm going back to the assertion which we had used last time for validating the status and to get the date. And what we are going to do is we are going to add some more information in this so that it gives us the details for the valid SOAP response also. So we can add a comment using 2 slashes, and this will help to assert that assert HTTP response. Okay, this is the assertion which we have written for asserting the response, and now we are going to assert that it is valid SOAP response or not. Okay, so this is the second assertion which we are doing in this same assertion. Okay, so what we are going to use again is our holder. So holder dot namespace. So this is the syntax which you have to follow, and you can put this URL which is going to be remaining same for all the XMLs, all the SOAP XMLs which we are using. This is for the SOAP envelope. Okay, so we have created the holder dot namespaces for this particular URL, and then we are going to define the node. So basically what we are defining is something which we are going to use for our comparison. So holder dot get DOM node. Get DOM node is a method which we are going to use, which will check whether there is a SOAP envelope mentioned in the XML which is returned or not. So it says SOAP envelope. Okay, so this is the SOAP envelope which is mentioned, and we are getting the DOM node, and this will validate whether we have the envelope mentioned or not. So we are going to use this particular node to validate this thing. So how we can do it? Using if else loop. So I'm going to do if, and we can put the condition here. So node is not equal to null. If it is not equal to null, then what we are going to get is log.info. This is a valid SOAP response. So if the node, that means holder.getDOM node, is not null, but it is having some value, that means that our SOAP response, is a valid SOAP response. But if this is not true, then what we can specify in else condition to throw a error. And for throwing a error we are using log.error. For valid information we use log.info. So in log.error we are printing this is invalid SOAP response, because in that node is equal to null. Okay, and also what we are going to do is we are going to assert the node is not equal to null. So what is the purpose of assert? That it will check whether this particular line is correct or not, and if it is not correct it is going to just return a failure. Okay, so it will fail at that point only whenever it has encountered this particular assertion. So how we are asserting? First we are putting the keyword assert, then we are putting our condition that node is not equal to null. Okay, and if node is not equal to null then everything is good, but if node is equal to null then this particular message is going to get printed. That means that if this particular condition fails, what message we want to throw to the user, that is invalid SOAP response is what is going to get returned to the user. Okay, and node we have already checked that what we are storing in node, that the XML is having SOAP envelope. This particular thing should be mentioned, and this is the criteria which we are setting to validate that whether our response is a valid SOAP response or not. Okay, so let me just clear it and run it. Okay, so it is saying invalid SOAP response expression node is not equal to null, values node is equal to null. So what is happening is that as per this message it shows us that in the response what we have got is not a valid response, because node is equal to null, and what we are looking for is that node should not be equal to null. So let us check that why we are getting this particular error, because our response should be correct. So I'm just going to click OK here, and we are going to just revisit the script which we have written. Okay, so yeah, we have missed a slash here, so the complete URL is not correct, and rest everything looks fine to me. So let me run it again. Okay, now you can see that the assertion has passed and what we have got is a valid response. Okay, and you can see here that this is a valid SOAP response message is returned because the node which we are getting is not equal to null. So if we are not getting equal to null, that means it is a valid SOAP response. So in this way what we can do is we can validate our SOAP response, and we can check that whether what we have got in return is a SOAP message or any other XML is returned, and based on whatever message, whatever response we have got, the assertion is going to give us the outcome, and we need not worry about any other thing. So this is the another way in which you can use Groovy scripting in SOAP UI. Thank you for joining.